Welcome into the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. Excited about today's show, folks. We're heading back into true crime this week after we had a couple of fictional books the last couple of weeks, which we've had some great authors on. Caitlin Rother among those authors the last couple of weeks. This week, we're diving right into the Miami Cocaine Wars. A great book over the last weekend that I got to read. I know I sound like Yoda when I say that. Killing the Lieutenant. Fighting Miami's Cocaine Wars, Hunting Griselda Blanco, and My Fight to Stay Alive. Folks, this book is amazing. Got the chance to read this over the weekend, and I've got two great guests this week. I've got Sean Oliver and Lieutenant Raul Diaz with me this week. And I tell you what, we're just going to jump into it. Both men have distinguished backgrounds that we can get to here in just a bit. But I tell you what, let's just bring them in and let's talk to them. I want to start first. I want to bring in Sean Oliver first. Sean Oliver, distinguished author, podcaster, and much, much more. Sean, first of all, welcome into the program. We'll bring Lieutenant Diaz here in just a minute. But Sean, I want to first talk about how you met Lieutenant Diaz, because this, I think, is a little important. Then we'll get to Lieutenant Diaz, who has a long resume in in Miami, and as far as fighting crime with the cocaine wars. But Sean, first, welcome to the program.
Thank you. We will jump in nose first to the cocaine wars.
We have such limited time today. And the reason normally I do a long introduction, long flowery introduction, I'm not doing that today for a reason, because there's so much to cover here.
There is. Raul and I met on a project called Monkeymorales, which was a book that I did right before Killing the Lieutenant. And Raul was part of the research that I had to do about Monkeymorales, an assassinated Cuban spy, informant, operative, U.S. CIA operative, FBI informant, drug smuggler. And just because of the time since, this was all set, 60s, 70s, up into the 80s. So my slate of available people that had information about that time and about Monkey was pretty narrow. But Raul was a gem because he worked closely with him. He was one of Raul's trusted informants, as you read about in Killing the Lieutenant. So I had to talk to Raul about the Monkey. So we spoke on the phone a few times, and then more so as the book was getting closer to publication. It was a 6-year process writing that book and putting together all these pieces from these fragments of history, and documentation, interviews, and transcripts. So as I was getting closer to production of the book and my deadline with the publisher, I had to get all my ducks in a row, so to speak. So I began relying a little more on Raul, and I think he began trusting this gringo from New Jersey a little more. And when the book was finished and I sent a copy to Raul, he honored me by saying, "Will you tell my story?" And I very quickly agreed. I should have held out for a better deal, but I didn't. And it led me to this story that I just had the sense was going to be as engaging as it ended up being. I usually spend a little more time with the topic because not every good story is a good book. So you have to make sure that it's got legs and it's got variation and that there's a human story there, and you can drum up some simpatico for the main character. I would have been the wrong guy to write Hitler's biography because, you can't drum up a lot of simpatico for Adolf. But I suspected Raul's story was going to be as fascinating and multi-layered as it was. And we began our journey a few years ago. Resultant.
Now, yeah, there it is.
That's better. Sorry.
There, yep. Now, in all fairness, It's not the first time that Lieutenant Diaz's story has been told, but it's been told from different perspectives. It was told in Cocaine Cowboys. It was told most recently in Griselda, which was, I believe, on the USA Network, correct?
Griselda was Netflix.
Netflix. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Netflix. One of those outlets. But it was not told. Griselda was, I believe, the phrase is based on a true story, to try and get it as accurately as possible, and they didn't quite get it as accurately as possible, and we'll get into that a little bit as well with Lieutenant Diaz, and we'll bring him in here in a second. Um, how much did you have to sift through in order to get down to the nitty gritty as far as you as an author?
Well, when the person about whom you're writing is alive, that helps.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they're dead, much harder because then you're doing a lot more vetting and sitting on the Ouija board hoping the messages come through. But when they're here, um, it's much easier because they have Raul, fortunately, don't let his advanced age fool you. He has a great memory. So this for me was huge. He remembered names, first names, last names of somebody he arrested 40 years ago. So this made the research end of my job much easier because he had the majority of the info. Um, I would go back and vet dates, get the name of this store, make sure it was the right day, and 9 times out of 10, he was correct and he had the details. So that made my job easier. I mean, it's never easy to tell a story in an entertaining fashion. You just don't want fragments of stories. You need to lead a reader, just like a viewer for a TV show or a movie. You have to kind of do the carrot on the stick and lead them through the story as you think would be the most suspenseful, entertaining, depending on what you're writing.
What's interesting about the book too is you do get perspectives from his loved ones as well on him. I found that really intriguing because it doesn't always paint Lieutenant Diaz in the best light, which is interesting.
Well, I mean, could you ever tell anyone's story, yourself included, Tim, without the foibles and the errors and the things you might go back and change had you been given that opportunity? Nobody's Superman. Um, so we have to get lost in the Clark Kent of somebody. We have to understand both sides to understand the person. I want the best biographies that I read, when I put it down, I feel like I've spent time with that person,
Mm-hmm.
autobiography or biography. I've felt their pain. I've maybe become annoyed at them at some time, but I fully understand their time, and that was important. And I said to Raul, I asked his permission, and I probably wouldn't have paid attention to him if he didn't give me permission. At a certain point, I said, I need to talk to your daughters and your wives, your ex-wife and your present wife at the time, um, and I need to print what they tell me. Is that okay? And he said yes, right away. So that was hugely important to me. Actually, one of my editors um, had to have a little arm wrestling match with her over this because she thought it was too abrupt of a departure from the cops and robbers story. But but I said it needed to be. The way I got her to understand it was if you ever seen Goodfellas, and it's in the Ray Liotta character's voice the entire time, and then the wife comes in, and we hear her voiceovers for the first time,
Yeah.
and it's about the difficulties she had in the relationship, not told through his eyes. One of my editors wanted me to do it kind of with Raul's first person I telling what his daughters thought or his daughter said. And I said, no, this needs to break into the story with their voice, first person, unobstructed, and you can react to it, but they have to have their moment. I hope it worked.
It worked wonderfully. I thought it was refreshing in that you got, not only is Lieutenant Diaz very introspective and knows not only himself and his own foibles, but he's refreshingly blunt about it. But also you're backed up at the fact that his daughters, his ex-wives, back that up. And not only that, but they go one step further by saying, you know what, this is really how bad it got at one point. And again, without getting in spoilerish or anything about the book, we'll bring him in now and let me introduce him. There you go. Lieutenant Raul Diaz was born in Cuba in 1947, migrated to the U.S. in 1961. He joined the Miami Metro-Dade Police as a uniformed patrolman, worked his way up through Organized Crime Bureau, Terrorist and Security Unit, Vice, Intelligence and Narcotics, Homicide, and Miami International Airport. During his 13 years of service with the MDPD, he received numerous commendations and awards from the U.S. Congress, federal, state, and local agencies, private citizens, and organizations, and foreign governments. Raul retired honorably from the department in 1983 with the rank of lieutenant and entered private practice by founding ICDA Investigations. Let's bring him in now, Lieutenant Raul Diaz. Sir, welcome into the program, and thank you for your service, first of all.
Thank you, Tim. It's a pleasure being here with you. And I was getting bored with Sean already, you know.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to bore you.
Like one of those toys, you wind me up and I just start walking. The bunny, the Energizer bunny.
Lieutenant Diaz,
I'm very happy. I'm very glad that I found this guy. You know, we've made a good team.
Yes, you have, and you've put out a wonderful book with Killing the Lieutenant. That's for sure. I want to start off, first of all, I want to talk a little bit about family. And I want to talk a little bit about you coming over with your brother and what your brother meant to you first. Because I found the story within the story of you and your brother was a very interesting one. Can you talk a little bit about Miguel first?
Boy, there's, he passed away 15 years ago, and there isn't one day that something happens. And there isn't one day I don't remember him. He was a very big part of my life. He was the kind of guy that you went to, a function with, and you went in the door, and people would look at him and stay looking at him. You know, he was just that big of a presence. We came together in '61. I was 7 years older than him. And I felt bad for him because he got so nervous that he started bleeding from the nose. And what made things even worse was that our parents were on one side of the glass. We were on the other side. My brother's bleeding from the nose. My mother's out there. She's crying. My father's holding her, and there's nothing we can do to get together because we have this glass that keeps us apart. Then we came to this country. Miguel was my father's dream. My father, when I was born, my father was he played baseball for University of Havana. Then he was such a success as a coach that Castro did not want him to leave Cuba because he wanted my father to coach the national team. So my father was able to escape with the help of a guy who wanted to be the coach of the national team and came to this country eventually. But my father would give me a bat and a ball and a glove, and I would put him aside, and I'd get a revolver, cowboy hat. And Miguel was the opposite. Miguel was born with a glove in his hands. He made All-State when he was in high school. He got a scholarship, 2 scholarships, and then he finally finished playing for Florida International University. He became an owner. He became an owner of a company that does custom blending. They blend chemical products for other people. and he moved from Miami to Lake Wales, Florida, and then he passed away 14 years ago. But I'll tell you, he was just an incredible guy. It was I think that's the death I have felt the most
Yeah.
in my life.
Yeah. What was there was a chemical compound that he had custom blended that became quite famous, wasn't there?
Unfortunately, that was not ours.
Oh,
It must have been another one. But
okay.
he did have. Well, what we do is we build products for other companies. So we have Home Depot and Lowe's as our clients. They have their own line of products, so we do that for them.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
And some of the testimonies in the book actually about him were quite riveting. I mean, he really was quite the humanitarian, I guess is a good way of putting it, wasn't he?
He was. I mean, he would charge his credit card to give you cash. He was just that kind of guy, and incredible.
It seems like service, and that's one of the things that runs through the book. Service is something that runs through your family. It's one of those things where you're looking out for your fellow man no matter what. And I want to know why that stuck to you, why that's something that appealed to you, that you had to look after your fellow man, and it brought you to the police department.
I don't know. I think it started with well, my great grandfather was the mayor of his town in Orense province in Spain. His son came to Cuba and fought against the monarchy. He was named a hero of the War of Independence. Two of his sons were army officers in Cuba. My father was a teacher. So I think it runs in our family from several generations back. My great uncle was a king, a general in the king's army in Spain, and my grandfather fought against him.
Really?
So, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I didn't make for some uncomfortable dinners. I know that. I know that for sure. That's for sure. Um, so with that, joining the police department as uniformed patrolman, you're working your way up to the organized crime bureau, and we're going to skip a couple of steps here, of course, because of time. But tell me a little bit about getting into the organized crime bureau. Tell me a little bit about getting into there and that first step.
I was very fortunate because I had done an internship with Miami Beach Police Department that they had allowed me to work undercover narcotics. So when I came out of the academy, I had already done more than most of the guys in my academy. I had actually bought narcotics undercover. So there came a request from U.S. Customs for assistance on an offshoot of the
French Connection.
The French Connection. That was. Do you remember that case,
Yeah.
Tim?
Yep.
Okay. So an offshoot of that organization had moved to Miami, and Customs had asked the Organized Crime Bureau for help. They needed Spanish-speaking people. So since my face was not known, I just come out of the academy, and I had the experience from Miami Beach Police Department. They detached me from uniform to the Organized Crime Bureau. And that was my first experience in working a multi-agency task force, which later on helped me a lot through my career. I learned about what you can do when you have the help of the federal government and state agencies. So I stayed there when it was time to finish my probation. They moved me back to uniform for 2 or 3 months and then brought me back to the Organized Crime Bureau. I went to the narcotics section and I did about 3 or 4 months of undercover. I bought a lot of cocaine, some heroin from many of the bars around Little Havana. I think I closed about 14 of them. And
Wow.
then when I started testifying in court, my face became known. So I was transferred then to the counter-terrorist unit, because that's the unit that I had been part of during the French Connection investigation. So then I worked counter-terrorism for about 5 years. And then I was promoted to sergeant.
It's interesting when in that part of the book with the counterterrorism unit, how it seems like there's a lot of pushback against you. And well, I want to kind of talk first about the narcotics, and then we'll talk about counterterrorism. But I was amazed at the attitudes of different departments, and how one department, it doesn't seem like, gets along with a different department. Is that fair to say?
There's a lot of jealousy, a lot of department versus another department, agency against agency, and even within the same agency, you have this bureau against that other bureau. Who gets more money, and why did they get more money? So there's a lot of jealousy in law enforcement, a lot of it. People don't realize it because they don't see it, but there is a lot of jealousy. And in my department was was as big in it as any other department around.
There was one common thread, though, and this is something I think I'll say for the second part of the program, is that no matter where you went, it didn't matter if it was narcotics or if it was the terrorism and security unit, vice, intelligence, wherever it was, it seemed like you were known on the street for one thing, and that was with the other side, with criminals, and that was you were a straight shooter. That if they came to you, if a informant came to you or somebody came to you, they knew that you weren't going to screw them over. That if there was a negotiation going on with you, that you were going to, in one way or another, deal fair with them, as fair as you could deal with them. Is that fair to say?
Yes, it's very fair to say, and I'll tell you that went against every departmental opinion of how to deal with informants. I mean, when I went through the first seminar of BNDD that later turned out to be the DEA, I was taught to, the informants were just worthless individuals, that we shouldn't really care much for them. We should take their information and just treat them like it's just below human beings. I never did that. I never did that. I never treated a criminal bad. I never handcuffed a man in front of his family. I never beat a man in public. I was only accused of beating one man. There was a guy, a hitman. Actually, he had shot the monkeymorales, and I asked him, I had arrested him for murder, and I asked him, I said, what's your address? And he says, 890 Northwest 45th Avenue, apartment 22. That was my home. Okay.
Whoa.
So I did take him into the bathroom and beat the shit out of him. But other than that, he was the only guy that I was ever accused of beating up. So I had that. I had a problem one time with one of the bad guys in Miami in a bar called Ronnie's. And we got into it. We got into a fist fight. And so the police arrived, they broke it up. The uniform, I was police, the uniform people arrived and they broke it up. And the guy said, so what, are you going to arrest me now? I said, no, man, that was between you and me, man to man. So, and that thing, that little gesture got me more people, just, it was differently. I was treated differently by these folks than I had been treated before.
Did that respect from that community mean more to you or to the police department? Does that mean anything to your comrades?
No, there was jealousy created by that because they did not understand why was I treated with that kind of respect. You have to understand, I was in a semi gang when I was growing up,
Mm-hmm.
so we used to fight all the time, Uh, and so when this thing happened, it happened between me and this guy. It was not a professional thing or anything, and so I let it go as part of like we used to do before. We had it out. That's it. We go on with life. Uh,
I want to paint a picture for you too, Tim.
Okay.
Understand that the climate in Miami toward the later part of the 70s, when you saw police officers begin to get arrested for their being in cahoots with some of the dealers. The cocaine cops was a very big case. You had the Miami River cops. So here's a guy who has the respect, honor among thieves kind of thing. He's got the respect of the bad guys. He's producing at a high rate. So naturally, what are they going to misconstrue this? And he's Cuban, like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the dealers were. So the easy thing to misconstrue with this is
Is
that
that
he has some kind of inside deal with these guys. So I would, and you still had a very heavy Anglo police force throughout
mm-hmm.
the 70s.
mhm.
There's some of that in the book, being suspect of this Cuban guy who's all of a sudden the acting lieutenant, and um, one of the guys who refuses to follow through on an order that Raul gives says he refuses to do it because he hears too much Spanish being talked he said, you Cubans talk amongst yourselves. You guys could be out there doing, we don't even know. So there was that kind of suspicion within the department also. So though these things, Raul being Cuban, understanding that community, engendering the respect of some of the bad guys, worked for him professionally. It also worked against him professionally.
You have to keep in mind too that when I joined the department, there were only 14 Cuban guys in that police department. So we were, it was we were kind of new thing to that police department.
is that a is that a matter of the community doesn't want to work along with the police department at that point? Because, or is that a matter of, and forgive me for not knowing the community at that point, but was it hard to recruit Cuban police department or police officers?
Oh no, on the contrary, we had more applicants than we could use.
Was
Cuban,
it just a matter of Miami not wanting to recruit Cuban police officers?
well, the city of Miami had to be forced to recruit Spanish-speaking police officers. They had to be forced. Metro saw, you know, so what was going on with the city, and they said, well, we better start, you know, recruiting more Latin police officers. The advantage that we had was that we were not under pressure, under the pressure the city was, and the city was actually forced to take whatever came in as an applicant because they had a consent decree from the federal government and they had to produce so much within a certain amount of time. So they were under incredible pressure. We were never under that pressure. So
Okay.
we were able to hire a better quality police officers at the city of Miami.
Interesting. Okay.
But still, we were a new thing in the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, let's take our break here. We come back. I want to, Sean had alluded to it earlier about Monkey Morales. I want to talk about your relationship with him because it is a very interesting relationship and it runs through the entire book. But I want to hit some of the highlights because you talk about the relationship that you had within the community, but that was a special relationship. So I want to touch on that a little bit. I also want to touch about the relationship with family that you had throughout your career. And we did talk a little bit about Griselda, so we will talk a little bit about Griselda as well, and where the inconsistencies were on television as opposed to the actual relationship as well. because that's
Yeah.
kind of funny as well, and where the inconsistencies are on television. Killing the Lieutenant, Cartels, Corruption, and a Cop Who Refused to Play Nice is the name of the book. It is Lieutenant Raul Diaz and Sean Oliver. It's available right now. We have a link in the description of this program, folks. I highly encourage you to go get this book. It is a wonderful book, a great book, and you are going to love it. You're going to love it. It's out by Wild Blue Press. I encourage you to go get it right now. Folks, speaking of wonderful, Jelly Bean and Julia's. I was there on Friday for the smoked prime rib dinner. Boy, I'm telling you, one of the top 5 meals you're going to have out there. But these are their specials for the rest of the week. For today, tomorrow, Thursday, happy hour, 25% off all appetizers. That excludes the appetizer sampler. Half price off their single pour well drinks, half price off their Mick Golden Light, Coors Light taps, and half price domestic cans and bottles as well. Friday, of course, that smoked prime rib dinner, folks. Oh my gosh. Corey is smoking that prime rib for 12 to 14 hours. It's smoked, slow smoked overnight in the walk-in smoker. I'll tell you, that thing, it's wonderful. I got a tour of it before when he installed that thing. He brought it up from Texas. Folks, I could rant about it all day. We don't have that kind of time, though. You get either a 12 ounce or a 16 ounce prime rib, slow smoked. You've got the famous tequila berries salad, the sweet and tangy dressing with the croutons, the bacon bits, and everything. You've got a Texas toast along with a Boston baked potato. All that is yours. On Friday night, they start serving at 4:30 until it's gone. Don't show up too late because it's gone pretty early. So get in there on Friday night for that smoked prime rib dinner. On Sundays, of course, breakfast on Sundays only. You've got chicken and waffles. You've got brisket with hash, or the hash with brisket, much, much more. Jelly Bean and Julia's over there in Coon Rapids on Coon Rapids Boulevard. jellybeanandjulias.com. Check out the link in the description. All right, when we come back, more with our guests, Sean Oliver and Lieutenant Raul Diaz. The book is Killing the Lieutenant right here on the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. Welcome back to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. The book is Killing the Lieutenant. Cartels, Corruption, and a Cop Who Refused to Play Nice. Real stories from the front line of the most dangerous time in Miami history. Again, Lieutenant Raul Diaz and Sean Oliver. So,
Tim, why aren't we doing this show from Julia and Jelly Beans? Is what I want to know.
Julia's?
Yeah,
man, you were making me hungry already.
Oh my God. Until you said Corey was smoking the meat, I thought this was going to be a different kind of show for a minute.
We're almost, we are out of Pride Month now, aren't we? I'm sorry. I'm telling you guys, top 5 meal. It is one of the best meals you'll ever have in your life. That smoked prime rib. I tell you, I had it Friday. I'm my cardiologist hates me because I have this every Friday night. But have you ever had a Boston baked potato?
What makes it Boston? That it can't win a championship? What makes it a Boston baked potato?
There's that, and it because they deep fry it. Sure.
Oh Jesus, Christmas, God in heaven! Wow. Yeah. Okay.
It's deep fried in avocado oil. It's actually it's a healthier oil.
What state would I have to go for this?
Well, this is in Minnesota.
Minnesota, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, but come on by. I'll treat both of you. So, yeah.
If I ever need to be a little cooler, then I will head north.
By all means. Actually, this time of year, it's kind of hot and muggy. So,
same here.
Yeah. So, but come on by. We'll treat. We'll all sit down. We'll talk a little true crime, and we'll have a wonderful dinner.
We'll talk about what Raul did with all that money Griselda put in his bank account. That's what we'll do.
Right. That's a great transition. Thank you, Sean.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So what are you doing with all that cash these days, Lieutenant Diaz?
That Griselda show cost me a lot of time explaining to people that I didn't get any money in my bank account from Griselda. You know,
why is there such bad poetic license when it comes to television? And why do they not just take the truth and work around the truth?
I can tell you, I know who helped them with their script. Those two people, June Hawkins and Al Singleton, and I know that they didn't come up with that stuff. I know that because they wouldn't. But what are you gonna do?
So I mean, how deep does this follow you? Is it still following you? Are people still coming up to you and asking you how much cash did you get off that deal?
No, no, it was right at the time that. Listen, first of all, was and Sean knows who she is. My daughter Tani. Hey, Dad, Dad, what do you do with the money? Tani, I didn't take it. What money? The money that Griselda gave you, put in your bank account. It's just it was crazy. When I was watching it, I go, whoa, what is that? I had no idea they were gonna get me out of my my character out of there through that means.
About how much of that, Lieutenant, is actually true to life when you sit down and watch that series? How much can you actually look at and go, okay, that's true and that's BS?
Well, the real Griselda looked exactly like Sofia Vergara.
Okay, I'll tell you, there was a real Griselda Blanco.
Okay.
And she was the meanest woman I have known, and probably most people have known. I'm certain that those guys who were part of the Medellin cartel would agree with me that Griselda was a very, very mean person. She was just a a bloodthirsty. I mean, she had all the money in the world, so she didn't need to to, to kill people or have people killed, and least of all in the way that she had them killed.
Yeah.
When the first victim that Rivi talks about that he was involved with, the hitman, Rivi the hitman that became an informant, he says that they dropped him in pieces inside a piece of luggage in one of the expressways in Miami. So she was just a very bloodthirsty individual.
Other than I don't know if you want to call it an innovation of putting hitmen on motorcycles, is that about the only thing they got right?
I'll tell you, I would have to watch that show again to see what what, because there was a part of it in which she is shown at her house having this meeting with all her Marielito hitmen. There was no such thing. She didn't even. She used one Marielito one time. Okay, and there would have been no union. The Marielitos had no union. Okay, of hitmen for her to have a meeting with all these guys who came at the back of pickup trucks, and that was crazy. I mean, I could. That's when I turned it off that day. I had to go back and watch it again because I wanted to see how far they would go, but no. And like Sean says, to have worked and to have watched the evolution of Griselda's body, and then to see Sofia Vergara playing her. Oh man, Sofia Vergara is one of my favorite persons in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Hollywood, you got
the thing though that I guess this here we're saying got right, but it is a part of history. That industry, the cocaine industry of that time, when the Colombians realized they could streamline the supply chain, if we're going to talk about this in business terms, they didn't need the Cubans. It originated in Colombia, they'd get it here, and then they would deal with it on the street. So they kind of streamlined the process. And these names you hear all the time. You hear Pablo Escobar and the Ochoa family, and for a woman to have risen to the top of that industry, not unlike many other industries, you have to be twice as ambitious as a woman, I think, to be taken seriously in a lot of high power industries. And it was no different in that one. So Raul was talking about her ruthlessness. I don't think she would have made it if she didn't have the reputation that if you cross me, not only are you going to get clipped, but they're going to find you in pieces in a suitcase. So that
And
was
I'm gonna go after your sons and your
well,
children and your
family. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
isn't that impressive enough, Sean? I mean, in order to, I mean, do you really have to dramatize it that much more?
Well, the other thing too is we have to remember that the entertainment business is a business.
Sure.
They could have done a documentary if they wanted to. They didn't. They wanted Sophia's cleavage, and who doesn't?
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, you got a point there.
Yeah.
You got a point there. Lieutenant Diaz, one of the relationships here, and Sean had alluded to it earlier in the program, is with Monkey Morales. Switching gears to a different criminal here, which I don't know who you'd have play Monkey Morales in the movie, but if you, I guess we could cross that bridge if you want to. But it's a relationship that's a very interesting one. Can you tell us? Can we first start off with how you run across him the first time and how this relationship develops over the years?
when I was transferred permanently to the counter-terrorism unit, my sergeant, Vince Oler, told me that he was going to introduce me to an informant who was going to train me. He was going to train me on how to do my job, and also going to show me around Miami who was who and who was where. And so I was introduced to Ricardo by Vince Oler, my sergeant, in the cafeteria on the third floor of my department. And Ricardo started telling me about himself. He says, I went to I went to school here, and I said my father was a teacher there. He said, "Who was your father?" I said, "My father was Raul Diaz." Oh my God, yeah, he was my physical education teacher. Yeah, so that kind of made it easier for us to have a conversation. First, we were both Cubans. Then we went to the same Catholic school in Cuba. And then my father was his teacher. And then he tells me that he had one who had bombed John Cook's house twice. And I said, the first bomb went off a few hours after my mother had left the house. You could have killed my mother. He says, but I didn't, did I? I said, no, but you could have, So after that initial meeting, we went out in my car, the police car, with Ricardo riding shotgun and going, teaching me all about Miami. At that time, I learned that I was dealing with a very special kind of guy. We would meet and we'd go through, and he'd say, "Look at the car." He would say that the car, the color, the model, and the tag number. And I was supposed to remember it. Well, I didn't remember, but he remembered every tag, every color, every description of the car, the tag number, everything, where it was parked, everything. The guy had an incredible memory. He started telling me what some books I should read to do my job, and I did, and they sure helped me, because I'll tell you how I was trained to go into the counter-terrorism unit. When I got burned in narcotics, the counter-terrorist sergeant came to me and said, "You're being transferred to me on Monday." That was my training. Okay, that was it. I was going to work counter-terrorism, with 2 days of weekend, and then I started there on Monday. So I had to train myself. And Ricardo was so knowledgeable of course, he had been trained by the Cuban secret police before he came to the United States. So he knew about these terrorist groups, especially the Latin ones, because Cuba used to support these people. So, and then he did work for the CIA. He went to the Congo with the CIA. So he had this expertise that I didn't have. So through work, we became good friends. I remember the first time that my ex-wife invited him to dinner, and we were talking, and Ricardo was talking about his divorces. And Tanya says, well, no, not me. I'm not getting divorced. The priest says, until death us do part. And Ricardo said, well, that can be, I can make that happen. and Tanya looked at me and looked at him, and she said, excuse me. She picked up the plates and went to the kitchen. But anyways, we became good friends, and then he changed. Sometime around 79, Ricardo lost it. I mean, he became part of Carlene Quesada's drug distribution organization, and he provided security for them. He started protecting loads. Then he got into using cocaine, then into taking quaaludes, and he became, of course, you start taking a lot of cocaine, you become paranoid, So I don't like paranoid people, and so we started breaking apart, we started separating, and then December 20, 1982, I get this call about 11 o'clock from Jim McGee from the Miami Herald. The Monkeymorales was shot in the head in Key Biscayne, and that was it.
Jeez. You mentioned your wife Tanya, and in the book you have what seems like a very close relationship with Tanya. You and Tanya have gone through a lot.
Yep.
In the early years, even into different departments. Tell me a little bit about Tanya and what you put Tanya through in these different escapades, and that's the best way I can put it, Lieutenant. The different adventures you've been through in the police department, because really, when you're married to the police department, it seems like your wife becomes your mistress. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems like you're married to the job. And then if you have a marriage, that's not really a marriage. You can't really devote full time.
That's a very good definition, Tim. Very good. And it's just, it is that way. Tanya, where people say so-and-so was born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Tanya and her sister were born with platinum spoons, where most of us would vacation 2-3 months at a beach house or something. Tanya's grandfather owned his own island. You had to get there by boat, and so they were very comfortable. And she and her sister were sent by her parents to the United States, also via Pedro Pan organization. But they weren't as lucky as Miguel and I. They got to Miami, and from Miami, they were sent to an orphanage in Denver, Colorado. So if you can imagine from waking up one day and leaving behind all your comforts, including each one of them had a nana, a nanny, chauffeur, and then they are sent to a different country with a different language and a different culture. And furthermore, they're sent into an orphanage in some cold, in Colorado of all places. These are two islander kids. Yeah. We don't do well in the snow. So they were sent there for a couple of years until their mother came from Cuba and brought them to Miami Beach. Then her mother and father got divorced, and her mother her mother's partner, became Rolando Martinez, who was a member who worked for the CIA for many years until he got caught inside Watergate. So she had to see her mother worry as to where is Rolando, where is he going? He left 2 weeks ago. I haven't seen him. Oh, here's Rolando, all burnt up, full of mosquito bites, and so pack me up again. I'm leaving, and then we meet, and so we marry. And when we married, I was already in the police department. She knew from way before that I was going to be a police officer. She knew. I told her. We talked about that. She was fine with it. So I really loved my job, and I think I loved my job more so than I loved Tanya. I think Tanya is a wonderful person. She always was. We were good friends before we were boyfriend and girlfriend. So we're still great friends. I talk to her. We see each other. She comes up here to Lake Wales to see our daughter, and we get together with her and her partner now. So, but I don't think that neither one of us was ready for for this. The French Connection investigation that we were involved in had me going out every night to all kinds of nightclubs in Miami Beach because these people were living at night. And so I had to change my time from 4 to 12, but still I would not get home till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So that was the beginning of our relationship.
Yeah.
And then it went down from there.
I almost, from reading the book, and again, this is only my intuitive opinion here, Lieutenant Diaz, is this. As I start to read about how things are falling apart between you and Tanya, and it seems like from there your drinking only got worse, right?
Ooh.
It seems to me that you substituted, I mean, that's when the pain really came in, and it never really left from there. It seems to me that Tanya was your one big regret in life, right?
I regret it. I regretted what happened between Tanya and me. I regret it first because she's such a great person. She's such a great friend. She was such a great wife and certainly an incredible mother. Okay. She raised our kids. Sean will tell you, I mean, my kids are great, great kids. They're both teachers. You talk about public service. Here we go. So I felt bad, but I didn't feel bad enough to stop.
Yeah.
I was very selfish. And so, I hate to see, let me tell you how Tanya told me we were getting divorced. She woke me, I get home one morning, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. She gets up to go to work, 6 o'clock. She sits next door to me. She sits down next to me in the bed. She goes, Raul, I can't live like this anymore. That was it. That was it.
If Raul Diaz is a baseball coach, if Raul Diaz is a broadcaster, if Raul Diaz is any other profession, do you think Raul and Tanya are still together today?
Probably.
Yeah.
If I can interrupt a tender moment,
Sure.
that profession, law enforcement, at a specific level, I'm sure there are places that you can you're always at risk, of course, and you always have to put yourself on the line every time you leave the house with a badge and a gun, of course. But there are some areas that are much more of a gamble, right? And so we all have established that Miami was certainly a gamble for anyone donning a badge and a gun at this time. I would venture to guess that the percentage of divorced law enforcement personnel, women and men,
Mhm.
are infinitely higher in that profession than in others, just because of the demands on you, particularly if you can become an investigator. Maybe if you're going to stay a beat cop, it's better. But if you're going to be an investigator where you're going to be called out at all hours of the night and day and put in very, very strange situations that are not normal, and then you've got to come home and pretend to have a normal family life when you just scrape somebody's brains off the sidewalk, and you've got to talk about your daughter's homework project. It's almost impossible. Now, factor in also, Raul had two chemical addictions: alcohol, as we talked about, probably as a coping mechanism at first, and then the demon comes in once you open the door to him. But also adrenaline, to the point where when Raul was transferred to the airport detail and he was no longer in shootouts every day, he began to get sick, mysteriously sick.
Yeah.
And through a battery of testing, no medical doctors that were studying him physically could figure it out. It took a psychiatrist to pinpoint that this was because of his body's physical addiction to adrenaline being taken away. It's the first time I'd ever heard anything like that.
That's, although I completely, when I read that, I can't say I was shocked. I mean, I was startled by it, but I can't say I was shocked by it, Sean. There is such a thing as being an adrenaline junkie, and coupled with the fact that Raul had a chemical issue and a chemical addiction issue at the same time, it makes sense that he was addicted to the adrenaline as well. So it started with the adrenaline, but then compounded with an alcohol issue as well. It makes complete sense. And then he goes cold turkey on both at one point. I mean, it's too much of a shock to the system.
But let me say something in defense, not of mine, because mine. I mean, I drank because I liked it. But anyways, imagine you're having a job and you get called because the man you were going to have lunch with was bombed, and you got to the scene of the bombing, and you look down and you park your car, you're walking down the sidewalk, and to your right on the grass there's a right leg with a boot on it, and you keep walking, and then you see the actual scene of my friend, the man that my partner and I were going to have lunch with that day. When I get home and my wife asked me, "How was your day at work, honey?"
Mm.
What do you tell her? You know, so the only people we could talk to about this was each other in that unit or in that squad. When then I go to homicide and they call, and we got a lieutenant, we got another one. We got 6 people in one house. 4 men who were asphyxiated with plastic bags, clear plastic bags, because you could see their faces right through the bag, and their tongues out and their eyes popping out. And then you have 2 women in the other room where they were shot in the ear. And I walk out, and I remember that Edna Buchanan says, "What are you guys going to do now?" I said, "Order dinner, because we're going to be here for a long time." And we did. We ordered pizzas, but again, I get home, 5 o'clock in the morning, and my wife says, "How was your? Why are you late? Why are you late?" Well, honey, because we had 6 dead people in one house. I was not very pleasant company for anyone in those days. You know, the little kid who was the little boy. I mean, this boy was blonde hair, blue eyed. He was a beautiful boy, beautiful baby, maybe 5 years old. He was killed accidentally by his father, who struck him with a paintbrush in his chest and broke his heart. And I walk into the pit at the medical examiner's office, and I open the door, and there's this angel lying on a steel bed. My God, I ran away from there. I had to get some air. How do you tell your wife that? How do you talk about that?
You can.
We can't. So our conversation started getting shorter and shorter, and my meetings with my friends and coworkers at Ronnie's Lounge or at the Mutiny or wherever it was, or in Miami Beach at Sonny's Lounge or the Forge or something like that. It just got to be every night.
Understandable.
So, yeah.
On a different note, and Sean, I know you talked about the divorce rate. Actually, I Googled it while we were talking about it. The divorce rate for police officers is often cited by popular sources, and this is according to Google, to be between 60 to 75%.
That's one of the highest.
It is. It's got to be the highest. Other than maybe a doctor or a surgeon, I got to think. But yeah, it's got to be the highest.
I wonder if officers that marry other officers have a higher success rate because of that understanding. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Of course, you always want your partner to come home and be excited about going to the kids' volleyball game that night, but you understand on a little bit of a different level if you're also in the same profession that, my partner just had to sit through a child's autopsy, and maybe I'm gonna be quiet for a little while we drive to the game. I don't know, but I wonder if there's a higher level of understanding.
I just had a Chicago police detective who was on maybe about a month and a half ago, who ended up marrying former partner, and they've been together for 5 years and have a child. So I mean, that so far that's going strong, but yeah, I got to think that that's probably a rarity.
That's going to be our second book. I think me and Raul are going to do a marriage counseling book for law enforcement officers.
And we're going to get June and Al as consultants.
That's true too. They are married, so
they are still married
successfully. I think. I don't know. They could beat the shit out of each other every night. How do I know? But they appear to be happy.
No, because if that had happened, Al would be all beaten up.
He would lose. He's too thin. Blade is too thin.
That June is a tough lady, boy. Let me tell you.
She was, of course, portrayed in Griselda as well.
Yes, she was.
As the criminal analyst that, if you saw the series, that's the woman that the Raul Diaz character kind of takes under his wing when she's not being given enough credence by the other men in the department.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. And I take it they slaughtered that character as well.
Yeah. There were some inconsistencies, like they had her in a shootout at one point, right, Raul, or something?
Yeah,
like
she was never in a shootout.
Yeah.
No, she was not. Oh yeah, she was supposed to be in the shootout with a milker, and where I stopped running, and then I think she caught a milker or something,
In the series.
In the series, yeah.
But the thing they did get right, though, Tim, was the department not paying enough attention to or not valuing enough, I should say, the work she was doing as an analyst for these crimes. It's very complicated. Raul famously says, I didn't have whodunits, I had who-is-its. We didn't even know the people that were showing up dead 2 and 3 per day, having come over legally or illegally. They didn't have ID that was correct. They had all bullshit addresses on there. But June, through her network of other analysts, was putting together, trying to connect the dots. And Raul was kind of the one that sat and went over the paperwork and saw value in it. So they did get that right, Raul, in the series?
Yeah, and what happened was June was an analyst in a department where intelligence was never important. Intelligence has never been very important to homicides because traditionally, in every department of the United States, in every police department, homicide is a proactive, investigative,
reactive.
Reactive, yeah. I mean, not proactive, reactive, exactly. Yeah. We got a dead body. We go and we start the investigation. Okay, and we start with finding out who the victim is. June's attempt to have these people educated on how important intelligence would be for them in the type of investigations that they were getting involved, it was hard for them to understand it. So it was harder for them to realize why they needed a Cuban woman analyst. Okay. Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Well, gentlemen, our time is coming to a close here, but again, this book is fascinating. It's I tell you, you're on the edge of your seat for the entire book, and there's so much more to dig into here. I honestly could spend probably 3-4 hours talking to you about this book, about your life, Lieutenant Diaz, about this entire, just about the different cases you were on, and about the entire scene in Miami, and even about the different things you went through with the chemical issues, even the whole adrenaline dump you had when you had gotten to the airport is fascinating. How your body reacted to just
incredible. That was incredible. I went through the best doctors in Miami.
That is amazing. Just that whole, what happens when your body just dumps adrenaline after all that time, and you just become that tabula rasa, just that empty slate, and what happens when all of that leaves you.
Yeah.
Every chemical is just amazing. But folks, it's all in the book. The book is Killing the Lieutenant, Fighting Miami's Cocaine Wars, Hunting Griselda Blanco, and My Fight to Stay Alive. It's written by Sean Oliver and Raul Diaz. Folks, we have a link in the description of this program, so you can go get that book, and I highly encourage you to go get it. I tell you, it took 2 sittings for me to get through this book. 2 sittings. And I didn't even get through this book. I enjoyed this book thoroughly. So I want you to go get it as well. So, Sean, Raul, I want to thank you so much for being with us today on True Crime Tuesday.
Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It was a great journey. We covered marriage counseling. We covered Corey smoking meat. We covered it all. Very diverse. We're very diverse.
We're very diverse. Folks, it's time for us now to switch gears. It's time now to bring in Jessica Freeburg, and it's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals.
It's Crayon News story time.
What happened with this dude, Christ Bearer? I heard he cut his penis off and then jumped off a balcony.
Suspect pulls gun from butt, shoots twice at Denver police.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah.
It's that time again. Time you've all been looking forward to. It's time for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals. With that, I need my co-hostess. As a matter of fact, I shall reach across town to the person that Binder of the Hindustan Times calls my one, the only, the one that my entire universe revolves around, for there is none other in my world. You see, I've put aside all earthly possessions. I've told my family to go to hell. I have centered my world around her, because she is the eater of world destroyer of charts. And soon, as a matter of fact, I believe we have a date in August. She shall conquer the world once again. Nay, there are no 4 horsemen of the apocalypse to accompany her, but you can hear the sound of hooves trampling the ground as we speak. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Jessica Freeburg. Jess, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Tried to make it a little more poetic this week.
That was good.
Yeah,
It's better every week, I swear, Tim.
well, I tried.
You make me sound so fancy and
Well,
borderline evil.
well, I tried to throw a little twist in it this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Somewhere-
August 11th, my 3 books are coming out. So I just shared the covers on my socials yesterday. So
I saw that. Yeah.
yay.
Yeah. Yeah. And when our buddy tried to say, "Is there going to be a party?" You were like, "Party schmarty. You want a party? Go throw it yourself."
Oh man, well, in his defense, he's gotten used to us having parties every year.
He's a little spoiled, isn't he?
We have spoiled him, I think.
Yeah.
He spoils us too.
Still, you want a party? You throw one for them.
Yeah, we'll have a party-ish at a bookstore where we sign books.
See, that's to be expected. You should be out there signing books at bookstores. I mean, come on. Shouldn't you be throwing the party for them, not the other way around? Yes. I swear, people.
Everyone likes a party, Tim.
Everybody, you know what? Everybody likes a party, but they never want to throw one. You know what I mean? that's a metaphor for life right there. Everybody loves a party, but they don't want to throw one.
They are a lot of work. And I did tell Natalie, like, I think I just can't throw a party for this year. Like, I need a break. I need a party throwing break.
I don't blame you.
But
yeah.
Maybe next year. We'll have 3 more next year. So
yeah,
we'll do it then.
Yeah. I see. You'll have 47 more books next year that your publisher will put out all at the same time.
All at once.
All at once, because staggering is not in their dictionary. And then you can do it then. Right?
Yep. Yeah. We just do what they tell us.
That's right. So that's how that works. By the way, folks, for those of you who are wrestling fans, yes, that was the same Sean Oliver in the first part of the program that hosts Kevin Nash's podcast and has been on breaking I believe it's Breaking Kayfabe. Is that what no, it's Kayfabe Commentaries. That's what it is. And also on the You Shoot programs that were famous a couple of decades ago. And yes, he used to pick from the hoe bag.
Who are you calling a hoe bag, Tim?
No, I'm not calling you a hoe bag, Jess.
Hey.
It was a famous segment where he would get a wrestler on and they would pick from what was called the hoe bag, and they would pick and see who was hoe bag and who wasn't. It was a funny segment. But he was here in a distinguished capacity today as a true crime author.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's like an added bonus.
Oh yeah, well he's written some pretty huge books in the true crime realm. So
I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, he's just not one of us knuckleheads in the wrestling. So yeah, so it was great to get to talk to him in that respect too. So yeah, that was a fun time today. So yeah. So far, great day. I mean, yeah.
I love that, and now we get to have more fun laughing at people for being stupid.
That's right. Well, okay, a little bit of a disclaimer at the beginning of this segment. We won't start laughing right away.
Oh no! Are you going to make me sad?
No. Well, that's sad.
Okay.
But kind of really?
Okay.
Type of sad.
And the awkward awfulness when you share awful things with me and I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for introducing my love life into this. Yeah, like that. Yeah. Mainly because one, there was one story I found late today that I went, oh gosh, that's extreme. That should probably go in there. And then another one came from a listener of ours. So, and I thought, you know what? And it's timely and it's kind of a big story. So I don't think we should skip it.
No.
And it does have to do with one of our NFC North rivals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we got some breaking news, and then we get to the silly stuff.
Yeah. And we're off and running. And I will warn you that although the not safe for work is a little sparse today, it's also a little bit of a follow up and partially harsh. So, yeah, Fast and Furious today.
I'm ready for it.
That's how
Shall we go?
That's how we're playing it. Yeah, we'll hit it. We'll hit it right now. How's that sound? The first story, and again, kids, I will warn you that even though we're not safe for work territory, it might be a little rough. Might be a little rough. All right. Two boy. All right. First story. I tell you what, we'll take the story first from our listener. This has to do with our very own Vikings, NFC North, and a team in the NFC North, the Detroit Lions, who have a corner in trouble. Cornerback Terrion Arnold, who was arrested in Florida. Yes, we're going to go to Florida right away. On kidnapping charges that carry a maximum penalty of life in prison.
What?
Now, you would think that playing in the NFL, Jess, you got it made. You're making good money. You're doing what you want to do for a living.
Yeah.
You would stay free and clear. Now, a lot of sports athletes get in trouble where they're racing their cars. Maybe they get into a little substance abuse problems. That's probably the most they get involved with, right? Or maybe even a little gambling. They want to gamble on themselves. That's the most amount of trouble you see these guys get into. Not old Terrion Arnold.
Oh, no. Who did he kidnap?
Well, this is kind of a weird story. He claims he's completely innocent of this deal, but he ended up turning himself in this last week. Detroit Lions cornerback Terrion Arnold was arrested in Florida on Wednesday of last week. The 23-year-old former first-round draft pick faces 4 charges of kidnapping and 4 charges of armed robbery over an incident in which he previously denied all involvement. The kidnapping charges alone carry a maximum penalty of life in prison. Arnold, whom Tampa police allege was the primary conspirator in a group of 6 other people charged, voluntarily surrendered and was taken into custody at Orient Road Jail in Hillsborough County. Per Dave Burkett of the Detroit Free Press, 2 of the defendants in the case pleaded guilty on Wednesday and agreed to testify for the state in future proceedings. That's not a good note to start with. When you've got 2 conspirators already saying, you know what, we'll turn evidence on.
Yeah, you're in a bad spot.
Right. Representative for Arnold released a statement continuing to deny all involvement and questioning the integrity of the testimony against him. This is what his representation had to say. Terrion Arnold categorically denies any involvement in the matters underlying the allegations made against him and maintains all innocence. There's no credible evidence linking Mr. Arnold to these allegations. Instead, the government appears to be relying on testimony from multiple convicted felons who have admitted their own involvement and may have substantial incentives to shift blame in an effort to lessen their sentences. Mr. Arnold looks forward to his day in court and is confident that the judicial process will lead to his ultimate vindication. Now, the Lions came out and released their own statement via the Free Press. We're aware of the legal situation regarding Terrion Arnold. We will not comment at this time out of respect to the ongoing legal process. The incident in question occurred in February when authorities claimed that Arnold and others believed a group of 3 men had stolen items from their Airbnb and reported a property loss of more than $250,000 to the Largo Police Department. The 3 victims were Arnold's driver and 2 of the driver's associates. Now, members of Arnold's group are alleged to have ambushed the victims in their apartment and spent the better part of an hour beating and interrogating them at gunpoint. with one woman allegedly live streaming the proceedings back to Arnold as he traveled to the apartment. Kind of a Godfather type scenario, right?
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah. Investigators also allegedly found a group chat with all the defendants, which Arnold and childhood friend, I believe this is Bokai Hilton Jr., who's also charged, giving directions during the assault. So basically telling him what to do.
Yeah. How are you going to talk your way out of that one?
It's pretty tough. Technology's a bitch. I'll give you that. The victims were eventually released around 1:40 a.m., minus some personal property allegedly taken by the accused. Now, Arnold has denied involvement at every juncture, including when a judge involved in the case mentioned his alleged involvement and claimed one of the defendants was Arnold's girlfriend. Arnold has played 2 seasons in the NFL since being selected in the first round, 24th overall in the 2024 draft. The Tallahassee native and Alabama product had recorded 91 total tackles, 18 passes defensed, 1 interception in 24 career games, but missed the end of last season due to shoulder surgery. The Lions have previously stood by him, with head coach Dan Campbell saying in March of this past year, it seems like he still wasn't involved with this. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you're directing the play, you're still in the play, right?
I feel like if you're directing the play, you're even more culpable for how the play turns out.
Right. Because if you're directing the actors and you're telling the scene people how to set up the scenery, you're pretty much responsible for the whole production.
Yeah, if without the director, the play is not happening.
That's right. So, we'll see. The other story, which is, remember, we used to do a little thing called Swift Justice on this program?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing says Swift Justice like this next story, which is bizarre. A boyfriend was trying to dump his strangled girlfriend in the woods. Keep in mind, she's dead. But he died while dragging her body. Police found him in the fetal position right next to the dead mother of 3.
Or you have like a heart attack?
Pretty much.
What?
Mm-hmm.
That's karma.
Yeah, it is. An Alabama woman was strangled to death by her boyfriend, who then died while trying to dump her body in the woods. He died of a heart attack. Well, it is. You can laugh. I kind of chuckled a little.
Oh.
He died of a heart attack while doing it. 5th Judicial Circuit District Attorney Mike Segrist told Alabama.com or AL.com about 44-year-old Daniel Robbins of Georgia, who killed his girlfriend, 47-year-old Jessica Folds, sometime in early June. Their bodies were right there together. And this is not a romantic thing, folks.
No, it's not like a Romeo and Juliet situation.
No. Folds and Robbins have been dating before their deaths, according to Georgia television station WTVM. The couple was found on June 10th around 12:30 p.m. after Chambers County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched to an area along County Road 86 in Lynette to investigate an abandoned vehicle. Upon arrival, deputies located a deceased white female and a white male in a wooded area near the vehicle, according to the Chambers County Sheriff's Office. The Alabama State Bureau of Investigation was called in to investigate, and the bodies were transported to the Alabama Department of Forensic Science for autopsies to determine their causes of death. Based on the investigation, the female victim was strangled, and it appears the male was attempting to dispose of the body in a remote location, according to Segrist. The abandoned vehicle that police found was still running when deputies arrived on the scene. The driver's side door was open, and the tailgate was down, according to Segrist. There were drag marks found in the dirt from the truck to the location in the woods where the bodies were found. Investigators believe Robbins was in the middle of moving Folds' body and attempting to dump it when he collapsed and had the fatal heart attack. His ex-wife told WTVM that he had an existing or pre-existing heart condition.
Wow. And he was like, oh, this is just going to take a second. I'm just going to leave the door open, going to leave it running.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I got to think, for again, name of the segment, Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals, right? But dumb health advice to think that, I think I'm fit and ready for this.
Yeah.
Right?
He should have trained ahead of time or something. Got himself ready, built himself up.
Yeah, moving a body is not, it's not light work.
It's a lot of work. We get heavy when we're dead weight.
That's right. And literally, there's a reason they call it dead weight, right? Chambers County Sheriff Jeff Nelson told the station that the location where Folds and Robbins was found is believed to be a drop site, not the location where Folds was killed. He said the person who reported the abandoned truck also saw the couple's bodies in the woods, but thought they were mannequins. According to Nelson, Folds was found with her hands raised over her head while Robbins was in a fetal position. Folds reportedly lived just a few miles from the discovery site with Robbins and Lynette. Robbins was living in Macon, Georgia. An obituary for Folds describes her as a mother of three who lived and worked many places in the Auburn area of Alabama. Jessica touched the lives of many with her heart of gold, deep love for everyone, and a smile that brightened the world, the obituary says. Now, see, I feel very, very sad when I read a story like that. An obituary for Robbins, which was posted after his body was initially discovered, but has since been taken down, says he was a father and country boy who worked as a welder and farmer. I don't know why it just didn't say he was a sorry son of a bitch. Officials have not yet released a motive for Folds' killing. But irony is something else, isn't it?
I mean, never has there ever been a person who more deserved to keel over from a heart attack.
Right. And just the perfect opportunity in time.
He totally earned that.
Yeah. So it's a interesting story nonetheless. So there you go. Speaking of irony, I have a story here in front of me where a pastor says that a Bible scripture justified an attack on a man.
Oh, great.
Are you curious as to which one?
Oh, it's probably going to make me mad, but let's hear it.
Yeah. A pastor in Louisiana who was arrested and charged with second-degree battery cited a Bible scripture as motivation for the attack during a sermon he delivered shortly after bonding out of prison. Pastor Tony Spell of Life Tabernacle Church in central Louisiana, a suburb of Baton Rouge, said he fulfilled the scripture calling for church followers to lay hands on the sick when he attacked a man who allegedly threatened his family and congregation. Here's what you should know about the case. He says, I laid hands on the sick.
Pretty sure that's not what that means.
No. Spell was arrested June 23rd and charged with second-degree battery after he allegedly attacked a 20-year-old man who lives near the church. According to Spell and members of his congregation, the man had a history of verbally harassing them with threats, insults, and racial slurs. Shortly after he bonded out of East Baton Rouge Parish Prison, Spell delivered a sermon during which he cited Bible scripture that he said supported his motivation. In my name, they shall lay hands on the sick and they shall recover, Spell said, adding, I fulfilled the scripture. I laid hands on the sick. I don't know how much recovery they're going to have, but I laid hands on the sick.
Just a little misinterpretation of the Bible there, but
more than a little, probably a lot. Spell detailed the incident during a news conference on June 24th. He said that the day prior, he was changing batteries in some of the church's buses when the man began walking up and down the road next to the parking lot. Spell alleged that the man was shouting vulgarities, profanities, and very nasty words at him. The pastor did not deny that he had assaulted the man, saying that as a natural protector of his family, he has an obligation and duty to intervene when they are threatened. The East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office, which handled the investigation and Spell's arrest, didn't immediately return any request for comment. Laying hands on the sick, that's what they're calling it now when you beat the crap out of somebody.
Wow, that's a new one. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I never heard that I wonder what they call it when you fire a gunshot at somebody who is a little too loud cutting their grass.
Ooh, they call it illegal, I think.
Yeah, I don't. Is that a what is that? That's a warning shot, evidently. I know that much. I don't know. Let me introduce you to. Well, first of all, let's see if I'm going to try and do this without you reading how old she is. How old do you think this lady is right here?
105.
Exactly. Yes, Jess. She's 105. No, actually, she's 84 years old.
Okay.
She's pretty spry with a shotgun. We'll put it that way. An 84-year-old Milton woman fired a gunshot as a warning to her neighbor cutting grass. I have some neighbors that start pretty early, but I've never thought of getting up, grabbing my gun and going out and introducing myself and asking them to maybe turn that off till later. Yes, we're going to Milton, Florida, where an 84-year-old Milton woman was arrested after firing a gunshot as an apparent warning to her neighbor cutting his grass. Charlene Davis is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, which is a felony, by the way, and discharging a firearm on residential property, which is a misdemeanor. The incident happened last Thursday around 8:15 p.m. in the 3200 block of Atlas Drive in Milton. According to the arrest report, the neighbor told deputies he was mowing his lawn when he heard a gunshot. He then looked over and saw Davis holding a revolver. So it wasn't a shotgun, at least.
Yeah, something a little smaller that Granny can handle.
That's right.
Not quite as much kickback.
Yeah, well, a revolver. That's got to be what? I mean, it's at least, it's got a fair amount of kick, it'll take him out depending on how far away he was.
Yeah. But it won't knock Granny backwards when she shoots it, You get a shotgun and you get that blast that pushes you back.
You're just worried about her staying on her feet and not breaking.
I just don't want her to fall down and break a hip.
Yeah. You don't want two injured in this deal. Yeah. The report states Davis admitted to firing her Smith & Wesson 38 special revolver into the ground.
Oh, gosh. Into the ground. Well.
Yeah. 38. That's a Saturday night special, isn't it?
Yeah. I think they're smaller. They're not too big.
Yeah. That's just a nice little, pew pew.
Yeah, little pew pew.
Little pew pew. Davis stated she wanted to scare the neighbors due to an ongoing noise issue with them and her trying to sleep. What time was that? The incident was captured on a Ring doorbell camera, according to the report, with video showing Davis exiting her home and firing one shot. The report states the neighbor is heard saying, "What are you doing?" Davis then replies, "I'm trying to tell you that you're waking us up," before adding, "You better watch out."
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Granny with an attitude.
She's spicy, isn't she? Davis was released from the Santa Rosa County Jail last Friday. How much do you think they bailed Granny out on there, Jess?
Oh, 8,000.
8,000?
Yeah, that's my guess.
Yeah, come down a little bit. It's Florida.
Well, okay, I guess. Okay.
Yep. I'll give you one more guess.
Lower than 8,000. Am I super cold or
No, you're not super cold. You're warmish.
So maybe 5,000.
Oh, you're very close. $5,500.
Okay.
Yeah, $5,500 to get Granny out of the slammer for firing on the neighbor over a little bit of
a loud lawnmower. Get yourself an electric one. No one will shoot at you. You can't hardly hear that thing's even running.
Right. See? And then the problem solved. Again with the fast cars this week. This time we're going to Georgia for this one? Boy, this kid was going quick.
Was he?
Want to play another guessing game?
Oh, how fast was he going?
Yep. How fast was he going?
For some reason, I like the number 105, but I think it's higher than that, maybe.
It is higher.
115.
I'll give you one more. It is higher.
Really? Higher than that?
Yeah.
125.
Very close. 138 miles per hour.
Oh, can you even go that fast?
what was this kid driving?
I feel like my car would just fall apart around me if I was going that fast.
Right? Yeah, my van would just keel over and die at 138. I don't even think it makes 138, and I got one of them Hemis.
Yeah, my wheels just fall off. My
Yeah.
steering wheel's in my lap.
Yeah, I don't think this has got to be one of those little souped up deals. Teen hit 138 miles an hour. Oh, he's in a BMW. That's why. And gets
Oh.
boxed in at gunpoint by authorities, and then asked the deputies, "What do you mean? What do you mean I was doing 138? I wasn't even looking at the speedometer. I was just driving."
I was too busy looking at my phone.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much to look at besides the speedometer. Duh. There are bad decisions, and then there are choices that land you face down on an interstate exit ramp with deputies shouting at you through a drawn weapon. Whoops. 18-year-old Gavin Gates of Coweta County, Georgia, apparently opted for the latter. His night behind the wheel of a white BMW became kind of a story that writes itself, right down to the punchline. Coweta County deputies clocked Gates traveling at 138 miles per hour near mile marker 51 on Interstate 85, which is a stretch of highway where the posted speed limit is 70 miles per hour. He was nearly going double the speed limit.
Wow, that is insane.
Okay, so what is it? It's supposed to be, I think it's 10 over. They let you go on a major highway here in Minnesota before they pull you over. And
Theoretically, yeah.
Theoretically, thank you, Jess. It's generally it's about 10 over is the grace.
Yeah, we don't want anyone getting pulled over and saying, "Well, Tim said I could."
Don't quote me, but that's the grace they give you. Most cops, it's supposed to be 7 miles per hour, but lately they've given a lot of grace on Minnesota freeways. I know this because I went past. I'm going 11 miles per hour the other day, and he didn't.
Oh, over the threshold.
Over the threshold. Thank you, Mr. Police Officer. But and you're not listening, Mr. Insurance Agent. But to be going almost double the speed over the speed limit. What's the rush?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's just so crazy.
I mean, I can get a little road rage every once in a while, but I'm not that angry. I've never been.
No, I have no desire to go that fast. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah. That is nearly double the legal limit. In case the math wasn't obvious in this case, for context, 138 miles per hour is the kind of number you see in a supercar press launch, not a traffic stop on a Georgia interstate at night. When deputies moved to pull him over, Gates refused to stop. He was weaving through traffic without signaling while cutting off multiple tractor trailers and other vehicles on the road.
Oh, he really could have killed someone.
Yeah. Semi-trucks traveling at highway speed need significant stopping distance on a good day. Being cut off by a BMW doing twice the speed limit is not a good day for anyone involved. The chase didn't last forever. Gates eventually exited at the Bullsboro Drive off-ramp, where a second deputy was already in position, and boxed the BMW in. Deputies approached at gunpoint and ordered Gates to the ground. His response to the officer's questions of, "What are you doing?" was simply, "What do you mean?" He seemed confused by the question. I'm driving over here. It's hard to know whether that's genuine confusion or a very unfortunate sense of timing. And I tell you what, there's a body cam on this and everything. If you guys want to see them actually take this kid out of the car after going 138 miles per hour, I'll post it so you can watch it. But I'll tell you what, it's a little confusing. The Coweta County Sheriff's Office released dash cam and body camera footage of the pursuit and arrest, with Lieutenant Toby Nix confirming the details of Gates' reckless driving, including the lane changes without signaling and the near misses with commercial vehicles. So you get to see it all, just him going vroom, 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 vroom.
That would just make me mad.
I'm telling you, it's something else. The footage shows exactly what you'd expect. This white BMW disappearing into the distance while a deputy scrambles to give chase, followed by a very abrupt end to the evening at a highway exit. Body cam footage from the arrest itself captures the full exchange. Deputies giving repeated commands, Gates on the ground, and that now memorable response that probably didn't help his case any. So I'll post it so you guys can watch it. It's
Sounds like
something
kind of a
special.
douche.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. By the way, the charges he's facing through this entire thing: speeding, reckless driving, felony fleeing, and eluding. The felony charge is the one that sticks out, fleeing from the law enforcement at that speed on a busy interstate while cutting off trucks is not, it says that's not a traffic ticket situation. That's an actual felony.
Yeah, that's serious. I mean, you hit someone going that fast, you're really going to hurt someone if they don't, kill them.
Yeah. They haven't said whether drugs or alcohol was involved with the chase at all. But what's the reason to run?
Right.
Yeah.
Just thought he could. Just thought he was so fast.
I mean, just because you can, it's no excuse, but.
Thought he was in that game, Gran Turismo. Excuse me.
Yeah, you're right, Jess. I mean, sometimes I almost
Mm.
think when someone gets a car like that, they think I'm going to just because I can.
Yeah.
Right.
They're not like in real life anymore.
Yeah.
They're like,
yeah. Like I see it, I do it in video games. Why can't I do it now? What are they going to do? Well, they're going to catch you eventually. And
you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah, you're going to get in trouble. It's going to happen. Speaking of dangerous drivers, this is the weirdest story I think I've read to you since we've been doing this segment.
Oh, great.
Just weirdest. It's very unusual.
Okay. Not the grossest, not the
grossest,
freakiest, just the weirdest.
not the freakiest, just the weirdest.
All right, let's have it.
And one that's going to be very memorable. This takes place in Scotland. So I'm almost glad we can't make fun of it here. A Scots danger driver claims he can't serve his sentence without having his pet lizard for emotional support.
Oh. So he's going to take his lizard to the clink?
Yep. This is a picture of him right here.
Oh, he's kissing him. He loves him.
Yep. He can't do it without his pet lizard.
Oh, lizards have salmonella. He's going to get sick.
He is. His emotional support lizard. An exotic animal fan caught driving dangerously claimed he can't serve his punishment without his pet lizard. 38-year-old Terry O'Shea insisted he can only attend compulsory meetings with social workers if accompanied by his bearded dragon, Mishu.
Oh.
Yep. Oh, there's a little picture of Terry in his vehicle with Mishu.
Oh, Mishu's cute.
But
he has like smiley faces on his seats. That's so funny.
The man is a child.
I know. I want to go with him to Valley Fair or something. Like
he denied suggestions that the critter was being used as an excuse to dodge a community payback order for his motoring offenses, or monitoring for that matter. O'Shea from Dundee told the Scottish Sun, "We don't go anywhere without each other." Like he has a choice. The little bearded dragon is like, "Oh, no. I'll sit this one out. You go ahead." Right?
Oh, meanwhile, he's really thinking, someone save me.
Yeah,
Give me a better, more responsible parent.
Send me back to the pet shop. It's a bit like having a kid. She keeps me calm and stops me from getting agitated. She's my best pal, said Terry.
Oh, Terry. It's kind of sad.
Oh, dear God.
Does he not have real friends? Like, how are you so emotionally attached to a lizard?
I don't think he does. I don't think he's dealing in reality. O'Shea, who says he's registered disabled, cradled his pet in his Audi convertible. How disabled are you if you own an Audi convertible? He added, I wouldn't be able to cope without her. I'm not making it up. It comes after he admitted speeding, overtaking with unsafe and failing, or overtaking when unsafe and failing to stop for cops in March of last year. He was sober.
Did he not have her with him at the time? Was he like having some sort of a meltdown because she wasn't strapped into the passenger seat?
Maybe she got out of her seatbelt and he was
Yeah.
overcome. Get back in your seatbelt right now. He just couldn't control the vehicle. He also pleaded guilty at the city's sheriff's court to driving a van while unfit through drink and drugs, or drugs rather, for 4 months later, and failing to provide a blood sample for police on March 23rd of this year. During the hearing, O'Shea's lawyer, Finley Crow, produced a card showing Mishu is an emotional support animal. Oh, isn't that cute?
That's sweet.
Do you think that Mishu gives him little hugs and counseling?
Licks him with their little lizardy tongue.
Yep. You're a good guy, Terry. Sheriff Marco Hanlon deferred sentence for psychiatric reports. We told it says here, the article told in 2021 how O'Shea took his cockatoo Shorty on shopping trips and for drives. So he had a bird initially that was his support animal. What happened to the bird?
Maybe it flew away. It was like, forget this.
It had enough of it.
This guy's nuts.
Bird, had enough of this shit. I'm out of here. Shorty perched on O'Shea's shoulder whenever he went out and loved slurping a cup of tea and munching on chips. Oh.
Well,
The bird was said to jive to dance music, sit for manicures, pose for pictures with fans, and utter, thank you, and shut your puss.
what?
Shut
That must be a Scottish slang thing that I don't understand.
yeah, like shut your mouth, shut your puss. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
O'Shea said, people can let you down, but Shorty never has. I prefer spending time with him to know anybody else. Well, no, don't tell Mishu that because you're going to get her jealous. He added, he's always there for me and can count on him for unconditional love and support whenever I need it. He's a therapeutic pet. Well, what happened to Shorty? Why is Mishu in the picture and Shorty's out?
Maybe Shorty passed. I mean, they only lived so long.
Well, now that type of bird lives a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20-ish years, right?
Yeah. Where's Shorty? It's my question.
Maybe Shorty said, shut your puss to the wrong lady and she wasn't having it. She just
Ended up getting
smacked him into tomorrow.
ended up getting cleaned and deep fried somewhere. Or?
Yeah. She had chicken fingers for dinner that night.
See? I think someone's a horrible emotional animal or emotional support animal keeper is what I think.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he's definitely making some poor choices that we're witnessing, in this story, but
yeah, that's for sure.
and he likes the wild ones. I think he likes attention. Like he can't just have an emotional support dog, which is cute enough.
Right.
He has to have like a dancing, talking bird.
He's got to have
or an exotic lizard.
Port-bearded dragon, whatever lizard. Yeah, it can't be like my apologies to the animal kingdom, a normal animal, support animal.
Yeah, just a normal type of pet.
Yeah. And there's plenty of kitties and dogs out there that could be an emotional support animal.
But he probably couldn't take those with him either when he went to serve his sentence. I mean, like, you just don't get those accommodations when you're in trouble. You should have made better choices. This is part of your hard lesson.
Yeah. I don't know.
Weird.
That is why I have my emotional support prints right here on my See. He requires no food, no water.
And he makes you feel good.
Yeah. See? And he does no harm. He doesn't go anywhere. He just sits right there on my microphone.
Just sits there straddling your mic.
So to speak.
Straddling your stick.
Straddling my talk stick, my talkie stick. And he just has one little message. And it just says, "Dearly beloved, I'm here to get you through this thing called life." That's it.
Oh, I love that.
See? That's his message. And it makes me feel better. And we're good.
You feel emotionally supported.
I feel emotionally supported. And I don't have to take him to meetings.
It'd be funny if you did.
It would, yeah. Wouldn't it? Yeah, that's it. Okay, moving on. We're going to Dawson Creek, British Columbia. Not the one from the TV show, but where a scooter riding bank robber evaded police in back-to-back stick-ups. Yes, he evaded police on a scooter.
Not once, but twice.
Twice. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police say similar robberies took place 4 days apart, but unclear if they're connected. Here's a clue for you. If it happened on a scooter, chances are same guy.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people out there committing that crime on a scooter.
Right. Unless you've had a rash of scooter robberies recently, and then you might want to look at the octogenarian population and what they're making days there in British Columbia.
It's a ring, Tim. It's a whole ring.
It's a scooter ring. Police in Dawson Creek, British Columbia, are seeking information about a scooter riding bank robber or robbers. Yes, it's a scooter gang. The broken hip gang, Jess. They're out there robbing banks left and right. Who made off with undisclosed amounts of cash and back-to-back stick-ups. Police say in the first case, a Royal Bank branch in the northeast British Columbian city was robbed when a suspect entered the building wearing a full-face motorcycle helmet with a ski mask and sunglasses on underneath. The suspect allegedly brandished a weapon and demanded cash, RCMP said in a news release. They ultimately fled the area on a scooter. Despite extensive patrols, police could not immediately locate the suspect. That was on June 19th. 4 days later, on June 23rd, a second bank robbery was reported just 170 meters away at a Scotiabank branch on 10th Street. Once again, a suspect, this time wearing a face mask and sunglasses to conceal their face, allegedly brandished a weapon and fled on a scooter with an undisclosed amount of cash, evading police. When they did it, they had to make like vroom vroom sounds because the scooter was really quiet. So they were like, the robberies took place just after 5:30 p.m. and 11 a.m. Pacific time, respectfully. You know what that tells me?
What's that, Tim?
First one happened after early bird dinner. Second one, just before lunch.
Yeah, I think you're onto something.
Mm-hmm. They needed the money for dinner and lunch.
Yeah, they didn't want to dine and dash, so.
That's right.
They stole some cash.
That's right. And it occurred in the city's downtown near the popular Mile Zero marker, used to indicate the beginning of the Alaska Highway route to north to the Yukon. So you know what? They probably were going for a nice Alaskan cod dinner. Yeah.
That does sound good.
Yeah. Despite the similarities between the cases, Staff Sergeant Chris Clark of the BC RCMP said in his release that work is still being done to determine if the two cases are connected. Yes, they are by the scooter. Police have not clarified whether the scooter was an e-scooter, a kick scooter, or some other model. Here's hoping it was an e-scooter and it was good for the environment.
There you go. Oh, what a story.
Yeah. Scooter robberies. Next on 10. All right, it's time now for Not Safe Work. This whole thing hasn't been alarming already, then we can't help you, your children, or your boss. But if they're in the room, send your boss off to go play golf. I'm sure he has a golf outing somewhere. Go send your kids off to watch Bluey or something. We'll start this whole thing in 5, 4, 3, 2. Here we go. We're going to St. Louis for the first one, Jess. Where court records show that a St. Louis firefighter is accused of defecating in a box at a Lambert airport. He also has a prior conviction. My guess
Same
is
thing.
It's more shit in a box.
I mean, when you gotta go, Tim.
I guess.
What are you gonna do?
Whenever I talk about shit in a box, it's generally when I'm cleaning out my garage and I'm like, hey, is this shit in a box belong to anybody?
You're like, can I take this shit in a box to Goodwill? Will they take this?
Right,
or should I throw it in the trash?
Right. That's the shit in a box I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like Cologuard. I'm talking about like,
Junk.
Junk. Right. We go to St. Louis, Missouri, where court records obtained by First Alert 4 investigates. That must be a news feature for First Alert 4. Shows the St. Louis City firefighter at the center of the Lambert Airport investigation was convicted in a prior assault case. The court records from St. Louis City involve the same firefighter who is now on administrative leave after an incident at Lambert Airport on June 10th. First Alert 4 investigates. Previously reported that the Lambert incident that involved an image of a city firefighter defecating in a box inside a food storage room at the airport.
Oh.
What?
Why there?
It was a 2-in-1 combo platter. Like he didn't have time.
It's a crime of opportunity, I think. He's
Yeah.
like, I need a shit. There's a box. Sorry, there's a bunch of food around.
Right. According to the record, firefighter was charged and found guilty of third-degree assault, a misdemeanor, on New Year's Eve of 2005. The record states he struck, poked, and choked another man. Let's hope he poked him in a good place. The documents show he paid more than $300 in fines and served no jail time. The address listed in the court records is for St. Louis Fire Station number 5 in North St. Louis. The other man involved was a former firefighter who left the department in August of 2006. Now, I know you're saying, Tim, you're burying the lead here, buddy. Why did he defecate in a box at Lambert Airport?
In the food storage space.
Right. Well, the incident happened on June 10th. According to Lambert Airport, there's a photo from security footage showing a man with his pants down holding a box behind him.
Wow. I mean, they seriously got this captured on film.
They do. Yeah. As a matter of fact, this is the still picture of a man.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. It zoomed in away from it, but I did see it.
Oh, hold on. There you go.
Okay. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Sure enough. Pants around his ankles. Popping a squat in a box.
Popping a squat in a box. And it's a big box. So I think he was expecting there to be a river of flowing mighty. You know what I mean?
I'm really disturbed by that. The fact that he's surrounded by food. I hope they threw all that food away.
There's a lot of, it's like a kitchen area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
Can you imagine if they told you they stored your food that they were making you for your meal in a bathroom? I mean, basically that's what they did now because you pooped in a box in there.
There you go. That's exactly what it was. It was like a food prep area for the airlines.
Yeah.
He was just like, I got a shit. Why not use the bathroom?
Was he mad at someone? Like, I don't understand.
I don't either. I don't get it. It says here the St. Louis Fire Department is responsible for fire protection at the airport. A Lambert spokesperson said fire personnel operate independently at the airport, but are on site 24/7. Then they should know where the bathrooms are.
I would say. Imagine being the person who found that footage. Like, that's your job, is to like survey and like just surveil the location. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, Bob, I think this guy is shitting in a box.
Hey, is that Mark? Is he shitting in a box in the kitchen? The Lambert spokesperson confirmed the incident happened in an area operated by the airport's food and beverage concessionaire, HMS Host. So it's the concessionaire that also puts the food out in the snack area. When you're running through the airport and and
Yeah.
you've got and you're like,
Never
"Hey,
eating at that airport again.
I'd like a sandwich and I'd like and a Coke."
Ew.
Well, he's shit near the sandwich makers.
Yeah, like poop particles everywhere.
Yeah.
They're not contained just to the box. They float in the air.
Yeah. And referred questions about the handling of the incident to them. First Alert 4 reached out to HMS host asking how this is impacting food safety and sanitation at Lambert. The station has asked to see the full video. Oh, they want all the poopy details. Yeah. The Lambert spokesperson provided a statement on behalf of the airport that called the incident unacceptable for anyone associated with this airport. It added that we appreciate that the fire department removed the firefighter from his duties here. Duties.
Duties. You said duties.
I did say duties. How many duties did he have there before he removed them? That's what we want to know. One person familiar with the situation said this is out of character for someone who wears the uniform. Another said that this is disgusting and deserves disciplinary action. The St. Louis Fire Department released a statement. Duties. And duties. The St. Louis Fire Department is aware of an incident involving one of its members at St. Louis Lambert International Airport. The member has been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation. As this is an active personnel matter, it was really active, evidently. It was so overactive, he had to do it in a box.
Maybe he got a bad burrito or something. Like, oh gosh,
that enchilada I ordered was mighty spicy.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify: it's out of the norm for someone in uniform. It's also out of the norm for anyone.
Right, any human being.
Freaking insane.
Most of us go and find the little sign that has our gender on it, and we go run or the family bathroom. Doesn't matter. Whatever restroom we can find, and we go to it, and we do our business in there.
Yeah, I'll shit in the porcelain, but I'm not shitting in a box.
Even in the old Met Center during a North Star game, even if it was in a sink, somebody would find a place in that room, and they go do it.
Call me a diva, Tim, but I'm not shitting in a box. I have my standards.
That wasn't even acceptable in the boat out in the middle of the lax.
No.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. Speaking of things that are unacceptable, are you ready for this?
No, I'm going to have to be because you're going to tell me.
We're going to run it back on this one, Jess. We're running it back.
Okay,
we're running it back. We're going back to Michigan, Jess. You remember what happened in Michigan?
What happened?
Turns out our buddy is pleading guilty to charges in Michigan. That's right. The Michigan woman who, we'll just call her Cupcake.
Oh, God, no. Not the cupcake wine.
Yeah. Recognizing that the 12.5% proof was in the pudding, a Michigan woman yesterday pleaded guilty trying to smuggle into jail wine that was hidden inside her body. Before its discovery, the unopened bottle of Cupcake Vineyard Pinot Grigio was stored inside the vagina of 48-year-old Monique Meggiani. By the way, her booking photo is rough. Take a look at that.
Well, I mean, they just confiscated a bottle of wine out of her vagina, Tim. She's having a bad day.
But this is like the 1,000-yard stare right here. This is one of those, oh my God, that hurt.
I mean, I don't know what I expected her to look like, but that isn't it.
She kind of looks like do you remember the lead singer of, she kind of looks like Howard Jones. I know this is the 80s singer. I know this is a really dated reference.
Oh, I really have to Google this.
if you, or even, who sang Mandolin Rain? And, kind of like a cross between Howard Jones and, now I can't get the guy's name out of my head. And somebody's yelling it right now at their listening device.
They're screaming it. You mean the lead singer of Mandolin Rain?
Yeah, Mandolin Rain was Bruce Hornsby. He kind of looks like a cross between Howard Jones and Bruce Hornsby.
Oh, I can kind of see that.
You can kind of see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. See. I have an odd in my head. Things are very odd, Jess. This right here in this cranium.
You do, but you know what? You're not off. You're
I'm
right
off
on.
Right? See. But that's an odd. I can't see Bruce Hornsby trying to house a bottle of cupcake up the old wazoo, though. You know, I would think that would be available in craft services when he goes to play.
I feel like I can't see anyone doing that. So,
yeah, I'm just saying. So appearing Wednesday in circuit court, Meg Ciani copped to a felony contraband count that carries a maximum 5-year prison sentence. In return for her guilty plea, prosecutors have agreed to drop several other charges. Meg Ciani is scheduled to be sentenced on August 14th. So she'll be celebrating your book release party by releasing a bottle of Pinot Grigio.
I will have Pinot Grigio at the party in honor.
Great. Thank you.
I am ordering cupcake Pinot Grigio right now.
Cupcake for everybody.
Scott, I hope you're listening. That's what you're drinking.
Straight from her vagina. I mean, not yours. I mean, from
what party is this, Tim?
Miss Meg Ciani's vagina. Scott, you get that. You get that for the party.
I mean, I wonder if people are buying more of that wine now or less of it. Like, how has this impacted sales? It's such a thing. Is no publicity bad publicity, or is this? I kind of want to buy some and literally serve it at my next girls' get together.
And see if they recognize it. Guess what? I got this from CVS and I can't hold the bottle. No. It's a good question. It's a fair question, I think. A very fair question. Boy, they also, during the hearing, a judge denied reducing her $5,000 bond. It was only a $5,000 bond.
But it's also a felony. That's crazy. So carrying a bottle of wine in your vagina is a felony?
Well,
I don't understand. I'm shocked there's even a law against that. I feel like they'd be like, well, we weren't anticipating this. We have
the felony is there's no opener up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's no felony.
That's the real crime. How are you going to drink it?
That's right. That's the real crime.
I feel like it's probably a twist off top though. It's $7.99. I'm surprised it's not a box of wine, honestly.
Oh, a box within a box. That's a conundrum right there. I feel like Confucius came out with that. It's in a fortune cookie somewhere.
Yeah.
By the way, she's been in county lockup since May 10th.
Wow. How
would you like to be known as the House of Wine in lockup since May 10th? That's horrible. Following her bust, Meg Ciani was handcuffed, checked for weapons, and put into a squad car. Remember, she's the one who couldn't sit up straight in the squad car.
She couldn't sit properly because she had a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Lodged.
Yeah. She had to slowly maneuver herself into the back seat. The defendant's limited range of motion was apparently caused by the 12-inch, 2.5-pound bottle inside her body.
2.5 pounds.
Yeah.
12 inches.
Yeah. So I don't want to hear it from all you size queens out there who think 12 inches is nothing. That's what I'm saying. All you are like, 5 inches is too small. Yeah. Take a cupcake bottle once. Then come back and talk to me.
Oh my.
Yeah. It says here that Meg Ciani complied with the jailer's orders to extricate this. It is a screw top container. Way to go, Jess. You know your wines.
I sure do know my cheap wine, Jim.
Yes, you do. Yeah. The bottle, by the way, was intact when they got it out. Which, if you can,
thank God.
you can crush a cupcake bottle,
Wow. Yeah, if you can crush a bottle of wine with your vagina, I want to do Kegel exercises with you.
I was going to say you should be an instructor. That's impressive. But yeah, it did not go back out on the shelf. At that point, they consider that destroyed. In other news, we go to Tacoma, Washington for this next story. An off-duty Tacoma, Washington officer stops a completely naked, quite intoxicated driver on I-5. It's the summertime.
It was hot.
Yeah, well, in more ways than one, I guess. A police stop on I-5 near Tacoma late Wednesday night ultimately led to a DUI arrest after the driver was found to be completely naked and visibly under the influence, according to Sheriff Sanders of the Thurston County Sheriff's Office. The incident began when an off-duty Tacoma police officer headed home for the day and saw the driver use the I-5 shoulder as if it was any other lane of traffic. Well, right. Yeah. After pulling the car over, the officer found a driver who appeared quite intoxicated and entirely naked, Saunders said. The Washington State Patrol was not available to assist, so the TCSO responded to conduct the DUI investigation. The driver provided a preliminary breath test result of 0.21 and was arrested for DUI. Sounds like he was almost 3 times the legal limit.
Yeah, just a little tipsy.
A little tipsy and quite naked. So congrats to him. That's for sure. All right. And finally, today, this one is going to hit you right between the eyes.
Okay. I can't wait.
And may stop you from dining at a particular establishment.
Okay. Ruin another place that I like to eat. Let's go.
I'm sorry. You ready for this?
I knew it was going to be bad by the look on your face. You just got this little excited little boy look on your face that you're like, I can't wait to just freak her out. All right, let's hear it.
First of all, I want to introduce you to, see if I can do this without blowing the surprise. I want to introduce you to this lady right here.
All right.
Okay.
She doesn't look happy, but she looks normal, like she could be someone's mom at the local middle school or high school.
This lady is very pissed off.
Yeah.
Because she says, Jess, that she got herpes.
Oh.
From Arby's food.
What? How does one get herpes from Arby's food? What was she doing with it? Is this like a cupcake wine situation?
Arby's, we have infested meats.
That's not what you're supposed to do with your sandwich.
According to cops, the video shows a worker spitting in her sandwich.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's go to the tape, or let's go to Oklahoma, where an Arby's worker in Oklahoma has been charged with spitting in the food of a customer and alleged contamination that the female victim says resulted in her contracting oral herpes. By the way, oral herpes was also an evangelist that was on TV in the 70s. So I don't know if you caught his shtick or not.
I remember him well.
Yeah, he was fun. In late March, 38-year-old Jenica Church placed an order at the restaurant in Broken Bow, which is a city in the state's southeastern corner. Church is a bartender who had just gotten off of work that Saturday evening, waited in the drive-thru line for her 4 for $10 sandwich meal. That's a cheap case
what
of her.
Bargain.
Right? 4 for $10. I wonder if she got sauce on that. I know she got sauce on one of them, but I wonder if she got sauce on the other 3. Investigators charged that while Church's order was being prepared, worker 38-year-old Amanda Hendricks spit in the food.
Yeah. Did she know her? Like she didn't like her? So she spit in her food?
Thinking maybe she did.
Ew.
RB surveillance video, an officer reported, showed Hendricks. Oh, Hendricks was the one who's in the picture that I showed you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Removing meat from the slicer, at which she lifts to neck level and leans her head down so you can see the saliva leave her mouth and go into the sandwich. Hendricks then continues to make the other 3 sandwiches and send them out to the order, or sending out the order. So she spit into one sandwich. So the other one she made just normal. Church ate one of the sandwiches and shared the remaining food with relatives. So wait a minute. This is spit roulette. How do we know she got the right one?
Right. And honestly, like the odds of getting herpes from spit, it's like so minuscule. It's like you get it from like touching contact to contact with a sore.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she probably just had herpes.
It says here in the story, after consuming the Arby's grub, Church says she developed symptoms of an oral herpes infection, including painful lesions and cold sores. In a civil lawsuit, Church states that she had tested positive for herpes simplex virus type 1. Now, suspecting that her food may have been contaminated, Church contacted cops, telling officers that rumors were spreading in town that Hendricks had been bragging about spitting in her food. After serving a search warrant on Arby's for surveillance tapes, investigators sought to question Hendricks. After agreeing to an interview at police headquarters, Hendricks called to say she could not come in due to not having transportation. So she had no way to get to the police station. While explaining her no-show, Hendricks referred to the police obtaining the Arby's footage and reportedly told an officer that she was not going to waste my time. Yes, she did it. Hendricks was subsequently charged with poisoning food medicine with the intent to injure, which is a felony. Her rap sheet includes convictions for narcotics possession, credit card fraud, receiving stolen property, and driving under the influence. In Church's June 16th lawsuit against Hendricks and Arby's, she alleges that Hendricks was allowed to work in the restaurant despite having an active herpes outbreak with visible lesions.
Ew.
Oh. As a result, Church now lives in constant fear of transmitting herpes to her husband and 2 minor children.
That's rough.
But like you said, I thought that was darn near impossible.
I mean, you got to be like the most unluckiest person if you actually got herpes from spit.
Let's Google it real quick. Can you transmit oral herpes by spitting in one's food?
I mean, here's something from Biology Insights. It says that the high viral load and direct inoculation required for a new infection mean that airborne non-contact transmission is negligible. So it's like almost impossible.
Well, here it says it is possible, but highly unlikely.
Yeah.
So unless she was in the middle of an outbreak at the time, it'd be highly unlikely. It's considered extremely low though, because it's a fragile virus. The virus doesn't survive well on environmental surfaces or food, usually becoming inactive within minutes to an hour. So if this woman was smart, she would have took it to court and fought with a virologist or with some sort of scientist. They said the primary oral herpes spreads is through direct skin-to-skin contact, like you were saying.
Yeah, like you kiss someone, or
Right.
you drink your soda and I drink your soda like a second after you drink it.
Right. Right. They say that any virus that's swallowed in food usually gets destroyed by the acids in your stomach. Contracting the virus usually requires direct contact with an active blister or significant repeated exposure to infected saliva, like deep kissing. Spitting typically does not transfer enough of the virus to easily cause an infection.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird story.
Yeah. So it's odd. It's an odd story, but evidently it was enough to get this woman jailed.
I mean, she must have like clearly had open sores.
Yeah.
From it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and yeah, maybe she's just that 1 in a million person who actually got it from spit.
That would be, I mean, she's also probably this woman who got infected, Jenica Church, might also be or have a compromised immune system too.
That could be.
That's the only other way you could contract
from
that method. So, or maybe she had it previously and needed someone to blame.
I mean, 1 in 4 people do have it. Like, it's just so common. A lot of people get cold sores.
Yeah.
That's what herpes is. You get a little fever blister, they call it, because your immune system's down. You're getting sick. You get a little fever blister.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's really not that heavy.
No. Bonus before we go to the palate cleanser. This is just my own frustration. I was tooling around looking for stories. Florida figured it out for us Minnesotans who can't seem to figure it out. What am I talking about, Jess?
Now I'm scared.
It's my own little rant, and I'll make it quick.
Okay.
Here's why a city in Florida is installing a traffic light at a roundabout.
Oh.
I'll give you one clue. It's because
multiple car accidents.
Well, there's that, yes, but they figured out that their people are stupid. Here's the deal.
Guys, we're too stupid for these roundabouts. We need a light.
Exactly. I almost watched 2 cars this past weekend get into an accident at a roundabout when the instructions are right there.
I mean, they're a little tricky to get used to. I mean, imagine I've had to have 3 children learn to drive with roundabouts. Those weren't even a thing when I was learning how to drive. So my parents didn't have that horror of knowing you're taking your kid out to drive. You're definitely going to hit like 3 or 4 roundabouts on the way to Target. Like your kid's going to have to drive in them, and you're going to have to sit there and pray God they don't pull out when they're not supposed to.
Right. And I keep hearing, oh no, these are so easy. They're European. They're so easy. They're the easiest thing. And they actually make for smoother transitions into traffic. Bullshit. Because you forget we're Americans and we think we matter first.
So true.
I'm first. I get to go first. No,
Yep.
that's not how the rules of the road work.
I'm in a hurry. I need to hurry and get through.
Right. That's why we have stoplights. To tell the cattle, stop, and then now go.
Yeah, and sometimes those don't even work.
Right. Sometimes people blow through those. So why would you take a civilized thing like a roundabout where you actually have to look? First of all, you have to yield, and then you have to look for oncoming traffic, which has the right of way, and let that traffic go, and then you proceed, because that actually takes thinking. And courteousness and consideration, Jess.
Yeah, and thinking of people other than yourself.
That's right. That's why it doesn't work. It doesn't work here in America. So when the county of Sarasota, Florida needed to fix a backed up intersection, it turned to a solution that so many U.S. jurisdictions unfairly overlook, which is the roundabout. Unfortunately, rather than speeding up traffic, it appeared the traffic circle had gone the way others in Kentucky, where folks struggled with their first roundabout, in Connecticut, where drivers have no idea how to use them, simply unable to grasp the mechanics of going around in a loop. It all got screwed up. Now, Sarasota County is adding traffic lights to the rotary in hopes of clearing things up. That's right. They had to add traffic lights so people get how to negotiate a roundabout.
Seems like they should have just left it as a regular road and used a stoplight.
That's right. If they should have just taken the roundabout out and just 4 corners. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Sarasota's new shiny roundabout sits at the intersection of Apex Road and Palmer Boulevard, just off of I-75, which is, by the way, dangerous in itself. It really is new. Construction was approved in 2024. The roundabout didn't open until January of 2026. After less than half a year, Jess, for drivers to learn the new route, it seems the roundabout has yet to alleviate congestion on Palmer Boulevard. As such, each entrance now has stoplights, turning the whole roundabout into essentially a standard 4-way intersection with a nice median.
Huh. Well, you can plant some flowers in there, maybe put a little statue, a little water feature.
Mm-hmm.
Make it pretty.
Yeah. So
that's hilarious.
This is the ultimate oxymoron. Stoplights in front of a roundabout.
In front of a roundabout, yeah.
Yeah. But you got to do it because people, they can't grasp what a roundabout does.
It's hard. It is hard. They're getting smoother here, I will say. But when they first opened it, it was like every time you came to it, there were pieces of cars left behind from people running into each other. They just couldn't figure it out.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, literally the worst part of teaching my kids to drive, though. Just thinking about it gives me a little anxiety.
I mean, I know how to negotiate it, but most people can't figure it out.
My kids are good at it. I would say this generation's probably like, it's just not even a thing to them. They know how to use it and they use it well.
But they're considerate.
Yeah, it's the older generation that has issues.
Right. They're like, me first. Ah!
Yeah.
All right, on to the palate cleanser, because I had to point that out. We're gonna have to start putting stoplights in front of roundabouts so you people know how to drive. And it's already happening. It's happening in Florida. Good God. The only thing Florida's ever done that's made sense. Put a stoplight in front of a roundabout. All right. I'm going to show you a picture of our first little buddy in our palate cleanser today.
Oh, baby. I want that puppy.
I tell you what this amazing little pup did. That's Apollo, who's a 13-year-old Shih Tzu. Apollo went
Phoebe,
missing.
that could be your boyfriend.
Yeah, look at that, Phoebe. Apollo is 13 years old and is a puppy from Florida who turned up 1,000 miles away near New York City months after disappearing.
Oh, how'd he get there?
We went on a little walkabout.
A little rocket ship?
No, not a rocket ship. A walkabout. Not a rocket ship, Jazz.
His name's Apollo, so I just figured.
On a rocket ship. Yeah, he just went over to NASA and jumped on a rocket ship. And when they jettisoned the main fuel boosters, he ended up in New York.
He just flew off and landed in New York.
He was like, huh?
Whee!
Landed in a parachute somewhere in New York, somewhere in the Bronx. Went to a Yankees game.
That's a long walk for a little fella. I don't think Phoebe would make it.
She wouldn't make it 1,300 miles?
Oh, heavens, no.
No.
No. We take her out for a walk, and we have to carry her halfway through.
What?
Yeah, oh, yeah. And she's not, like, overweight or anything. She's just lazy. She just doesn't want to be out there.
She's just lazy.
You put on her little harness, and our other dog gets so excited. Winston Churchill's, like, losing his mind. He's so excited. Phoebe Buffet is like, I don't even want this on me. I'm not moving. I'm just going to stand here. And then we have to like drag her. We're like, you're going for a walk.
She's like, no.
And then midway through, she just stops. And my husband carries. I took a picture of him yesterday. It was so cute. Post it. It's kind of adorable. He's just walking with his Shih Tzu.
Well, a Florida family says they were overjoyed to be reunited with their dog, Apollo, who had been missing for more than 2 months. So it took a while for Apollo to get there, but we're shocked to learn that that Apollo had turned up more than 1,000 miles away in New York. Speaking with Fox 35 Orlando and WKMG, the Josie family of Marion County, Florida, shared that their 13-year-old Shih Tzu Apollo had disappeared from their home after he had made his way out through a gate in April of this year.
Wow.
So he just, like Pee Wee Herman, he just took off through a gate and he never came back.
Big adventure.
Yeah, I went on a big adventure. We definitely keep the faith and held out hope. Vera Josie told Fox of the pet's disappearance. We still got his dog food and we still got his toys. We still got all his stuff. So we knew that Apollo was going to come home. It was just a matter of when. In June, after more than a month of searching, the Josies received the call that they had been waiting for, though it came from an unexpected location. Staff at a Long Island animal shelter had scanned Apollo's microchip after finding him outside a police station. The shelter employee goes, well, the dog came in and has a name tag called Yuri. And I said, his name's not Yuri. His name is Apollo Franklin Josie, Vera recalled to Fox. According to the Josies, they later discovered a Facebook post shared from Long Island that featured a dog they believe is Apollo. The family also filed a report with the Marion County Sheriff's Office, but were previously told that a crime hadn't occurred. In a statement to WKMG, the Sheriff's Office said that deputies could investigate the case if any further evidence is discovered. By Friday, June 26, Nicholas Josie had flown to New York to bring Apollo home. The couple shared that their Shih Tzu was able to meet their newborn son, who was born while Apollo was missing for the first time. So they had a baby in the time that Apollo was gone.
Aww.
Nicholas told Fox ahead of the emotional reunion, I'm probably going to cry. He was our child for 13 years before we had kids. Some people say he was spoiled, but we say he was well loved. I can't wait for those two to get acclimated to one another, Vera added to WKMG. The Josies are now planning to celebrate Apollo's upcoming 14th birthday with a party. Well, hopefully he sticks around for cake. That's all I got to say.
He's going to bust out of there.
Yeah. Maybe he
Have
had
another adventure.
Maybe he had to change his food, too. Maybe you were serving him some real shit food. And that's the whole reason he left.
He's just an adventurer. Next time he's going to California.
Think so?
I think so.
The West Coast trip this time?
Yes.
Apollo goes Hollywood. He's got little sunglasses on as he's taking off. He just hears little.
How did he make it that far? I just can't imagine.
Man, wouldn't you just, sometimes, you just put one foot in front of the other and you just go.
He didn't get eaten by an alligator or a bird of prey or run over by a car.
No, he had confidence, man. He just, shoulders back, nose up.
Doing his thing.
Yeah. He just acted like he was part of the scenery. Everybody was like, oh, that dog probably belongs to somebody. And he's like, nope, not me.
I'm my own man.
I'm my own man out here in the middle of everywhere. Oh, God love Apollo, I tell you. So Phoebe would never make that trip, huh?
No, look at her.
There's Phoebe. Phoebe's like, what trip? We're going where?
She's a lap dog.
Phoebe, you want to go to New York?
See, I don't want to go anywhere that's not with my mom.
You want to go to Hollywood? You want to be on a TV show? Phoebe's like, no. She's not even looking at me right now.
Not even. She's looking away. She's like, I'm not entertaining this conversation.
Want to go on a walk?
Does anyone want to go on a walk?
Walk?
Did I say it? Yeah. And she's like, no, I don't. How many times do I have to tell you I don't like walks?
You don't like walks?
No,
What if
she
there's
needs a stroller.
What if there's a big treat at the end?
We actually had a stroller for a while that we would take her on walks in. It was ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
But she's just lazy.
oh, I can relate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't go on
That's
big
okay.
walks anymore either. That makes two of us, Phoebe. I can't go on big walks either.
I'll take you guys both in strollers next time we go for a
Yay.
walk.
Actually, I have a scooter, but if we go to British Columbia, I'll be arrested. So, yeah. So see how that comes full circle.
Yeah, you'll be robbing banks.
Yeah, they'll think I'm a bank robber. No, they'll pull me over and beat me. That's just how things go. Yeah. And our final story today, actually, speaking of Canada, not necessarily British Columbia, but we're going to Ottawa for this one.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just a matter of one letter, Jess. One letter that can change everything. Now, I had seen a sign. But that was before my iPad shut down on me last week and totally wiped all my info. There was a sign. I think it was for one of the Olympic teams, one of the Winter Olympic teams.
Mm-hmm.
And the P looked like an A, and it looked like it said anal, and it had a bunch of Olympic athletes on it, which is funny. This one was a French typo on a province of Ottawa, or I'm sorry, city of Ottawa initiative. Spelling mistake on French language posters promoting a city of Ottawa initiative caused them to mistakenly announce the formation of pubic squares.
What?
They forgot the L. It's a small mistake. In fact, here it is right here. It is the plaquettes pubiques. So
they're going to attract the wrong kind of people to that square.
That's right. Look for some kinky fun in Ottawa, evidently. I can't imagine Ottawa's that kind of place, but
Cupcake wine for everyone.
That's a cupcake for everyone. The Pinot Grigio's on them.
With a side of Arby's sandwiches.
Meat and cupcakes for everybody. Purple posters explaining the city's Uncommon Spaces initiative. That's what it's called. Which will close off 3 sections of the Centertown area to create public squares for gatherings and events from June until October, were erected in both English and French. Yes, I used the word erected. Social media users quickly noticed the French version of the signs, which were meant to read placettes or plaquettes publiques or public squares. Instead it reads plaquettes or placettes pubiques, which translates to pubic squares. Yeah. The signs were noted in multiple locations on Saturday, but Sabrina LeMay, who is the executive director of the Centertown Business Improvement Area, said they have since been taken down. Well, thanks. Thanks for that. Yeah. She said this was an unintentional translation error that made its way into production. As soon as we became aware of it, we took steps to have it corrected. She told that to CTV News. City of Ottawa officials said they were not involved in the creation of the posters. City Councilor Stephanie Plant, who serves as liaison counselor for the City of Ottawa's French Language Services Advisory Committee, told Radio Canada the mistake was unacceptable. We want to attract francophones. I had one of those when the phones first came out, when the mobile phones first came out. I had a francophone.
I thought that was one of those things you put up to your ear so you could hear people.
Yeah. I was like, hello. We want people from Gatineau to come here and participate in our events. I think they'll think we're taking this a bit lightly when we make mistakes like Publix without the L, she said. So they think that they're just joking around about pubic squares.
And all the nudists came out.
That's right. Then you got a big nudist colony there in Ottawa. Then what do you do? And with that is our show for today.
We did it. We made it to the end, Tim.
You made it to the end. Absolutely.
That wasn't so bad. You didn't gross me out too much.
No. Little herpes in your meat, so to speak.
Yeah, that's
There's
an
that.
unfortunate one.
Yeah. So you've got two things to promote today. You've got not only the big book launch in August, but you've got the program there on the website as well.
Yeah. I got a couple things going on. So if you're interested, you can definitely check out my website. You can find the online course on there, and you can find my books on there too. They're ready to be pre-ordered. I'm really excited about the witches one. That was so fun to write, and I love that. I don't love that part of history, but I'm fascinated by that part of history, so it's a good one.
All right. We'll have links to both, so you can check them both out in the description of this program. So by all means, folks, go out and support Jess. She's got some great product, great projects going on. So by all means, pick up the books or pre-order them, and have them ready for you on August 11th. And check out the course as well, and figure out how to be a bolder you. It's definitely worth it. Tomorrow on the big program, Mally Fox is back, Supernatural News. And then Thursday, the enemy of my enemy is my friend? I don't think so, pal. We'll talk about a certain little subject that I've been telling you all along has been your enemy. But you people want to treat it like your friend.
I am intrigued, Tim.
We'll talk about that on Thursday. Along with a certain advocate. So we'll go head to head.
It's going to be like a boxing match.
Like a boxing match. Like a 12-round fight. Yeah.
That should be on pay-per-view.
Nah. Would pay for it. No, it's gonna be an intriguing conversation. So yeah, good stuff this week. So so that's what's going on here. A couple of reminders for you. First of all, want to thank Troy Palmer for being our executive producer. Thank you for everything you do, Troy. Second, by the way, the guest today, we want to encourage you to go get the book from today. Killing the Lieutenant, Cartels, Corruption, and a Cop Who Refused to Play Nice. We have a link in the description of this program. I want to thank Sean Oliver and Lieutenant Raul Diaz for being on the program today. So there's that. True Crime Tuesday swag. Go get your True Crime Tuesday swag at darknessradioshow.com in the shop section. Lots of good stuff there to get there. And finally, what was the other note I had, Jess? I had one other note, and then we were out of here.
I don't know, Tim.
We'll leave it at that. But that's it. We will see you tomorrow for Supernatural News. For Jessica Freeburg, I'm Tim Dennis. I know, by all means. If you liked what you heard today, go rate and review. Give us a nice 5-star review. And we would love any review you can give us. So there you go. That'll do it. We'll see you tomorrow for Supernatural News. For Jessica Freeburg, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much for continuing to listen and watch the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday.
For more audio and video archives of True Crime Tuesday, intriguing content, fun events, and cool swag, check out darknessradioshow.com. The executive producer of Darkness Radio is Troy Palmer. If you enjoyed today's program, please make sure you like and subscribe. This videocast is copyrighted for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this videocast, including audio, video, descriptions, or accounts of today's show, is prohibited without the consent of Darkness Radio Management. Thank you for watching. And be sure to join us tomorrow for Supernatural News with Mally Fox.